Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to a weekly gaming news show. This is episode 106. Today is Sunday, June 28th, 2018. I'm here as always, with my main man, Trenell. We're a little bit late, but we still got the news for you.
Yes, and news we have. It's a lot that went down, despite being the fallout from E3 2018. So without further delay, let's just go ahead and get into it. We're coming to you from the back of the room, boys.
Back in the room, boys.
Yeah, no green screen this week. We thought we'd show you guys a little bit of how we're living. It doesn't look too good. I look like I'm playing games, and you look like you're doing your taxes over there. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, I'm on the road here, so I'm up in the balmy Buffalo, just chilling at the brother-in-laws, and we got some vacation plans because the kiddies out of school. So
oh man, that's what's up, man. Boogie on the road. That needs to be its own show, man. We just need to take that and run with it. Boogie on the go. I'd watch that on YouTube Red or whatever the hell that platform is. But let's go ahead and get into the first topic. We're gonna start things off as usual with our weekly icebreaker. If you're unfamiliar with it, it's a question that we like to ask between the two of us just to get a sense of where we are on certain gaming related topics. Sometimes we like to go off the cuff, but this time we're actually going to keep it gaming related. And I wanted to do this because as of right now, Summer Games Done Quick is actually in effect. It's live, it's in effect, and everything is popping off over there. Let's for the ones that don't know, like what's a little breakdown of Games Done Quick?
Yeah, basically, Games Done Quick is a bunch of high level speedrunners. They get together and they speedrun games for charity.
Yeah,
and it's a great cause. If you've not been there, go to Games Done Quick. I think it's .org.
That's the official website, or you can watch it live at twitch.tv/Games Done Quick.
Yeah, it's actually really cool what they're doing, and the charities rotate. They do it twice a year. They do it in the winter, and they do one in the summer. Yeah, so hats out to all of those guys for putting in that work and raising money for charities. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, and I have the footage actually showing on the screen right here. Right now, they're currently running a Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. It looks like we just caught the tail end of it, which is pretty cool. One of the best fights in this game, because you get to play as Fierce Deity Link, which was like the only adult version of Link in the game. Yeah. So pretty cool moment. I don't want to show too much of their stream because you guys should definitely be over there checking that out when you can. So let's go ahead and get into the news, or get into the question that we wanted to ask, and that is, what is your favorite game to see speed run? Because neither one of us are speed runners, unless you got a secret speed run technique that I don't know about.
Yeah, my speed run technique is not pay attention and run and die. That's my speed run technique.
So you're not a professional speed runner, Boogie? Come on now.
No, not in the least bit. Not even with my real life feet.
But what's a game that you like to see speed run?
It's not necessarily a game I like to see speed run. What I like to see is when they do those special runs.
Oh, yeah.
Last year, I think a guy did a game blindfold.
Oh, God, yeah.
There was a guy that did 2 games simultaneously. I mean, I love seeing guys do that because that takes a lot of skill, a lot of dexterity to be able to do things like that.
Definitely.
Muscle memory, and it's really cool to see those special ones. I mean, just a normal speed run, they're okay. I know a lot of the speed runs are game breaking, which is I'm not a huge fan of, but I understand why they do. I mean, their goal is to get from A to B the fastest possible, regardless of how they get there.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's just within the rules. I'm just not a huge fan of that, but I do like the special runs. When I think, and there was another guy, I think it was this winter, he did a speed run with his feet. So it's
damn.
Those guys are extremely talented for sure.
Yeah. As for me, of course, I'm a Sega fanboy, so anything Sonic the Hedgehog related, I'm all about that. And there are some like pretty prominent Sonic speedrunners out there that I've been following for quite some time now. So you got those, but I kind of like seeing games speedrun that aren't really built for speed. You know, like Sonic the Hedgehog, he's like that game is like built for speed, so it kind of makes sense that you would get through it as fast as possible.
Right.
But then you got like RPGs like Skyrim and stuff like that people can speed run in under 13 minutes, you know, and that's a game that you could, you know, get well over 100 hours in, you know, gameplay wise.
Yeah, and now was it last year? Was it not Deus Ex? What was the new? Was it Prey last year that somebody was able to speed run in like 60 seconds or something?
Yep, yeah. There was a part in the game where you could just like skip to the end, right at the back. Yep. Yo, what's going on, Maureen Jen? We chilling.
It looks low budget.
Yeah, we chilling. We on the road today. Well, I'm not, but Boogie is. So I didn't want to be in a tropic island and he's like in somebody's tax office. So that's why we got the no green screen. It's like no makeup Mondays. It's no green screen Sundays, I guess. Sorry, I'm full of jokes right now, but but yeah, I like to see games like that, like those like RPGs, those like strategy games. I like to see those get broken in half in speed run, and that's some of the most fun that I have watching. In addition to, you know, just your standard like affair when it comes to like platformers. I love seeing like Mega Man, Mario, Sonic, all of that stuff. It's really fun to watch, and the fact that they're doing all of this, like all of these people come together and they do it for a good cause, it means a lot. And I've never donated to Games Done Quick, but I think I'm overdue because it's for a good cause.
You and me both.
Yeah, so that was our weekly icebreaker, y'all. If y'all have any questions for us, you have anything that you would like us to answer for you live on the stream, head over to our Twitter. Link or details are down below. You can see them at the bottom of the screen there. And use the hashtag AskAWGNS. We follow that hashtag or we track it. So any questions that you guys would like to ask us, we'll answer them live on the stream, either in a Q&A section that we like to do sometimes when we get enough questions, or during the weekly icebreaker. But that's enough of that, because we got quite a bit of news here. So we're going to go ahead and get things rolling with the quick hits. And these are short little lightning round style stories that don't necessarily deserve a deep dive, but they are stories that we do want to cover because they happened this week and they're pretty important. We actually had to cut some stories for time.
A lot of quick hits. You had a ton.
Yeah, that was a lot of quick hits.
I tried to stuff them all in, and maybe we can circle back next week depending on what the news load is.
Yeah. We'll probably pick up a couple more of them. But let's go ahead and get into it. First up on the chopping block is Boogie's favorite game of all time, Pokemon Go. It's back in the news.
I don't hate Pokemon Go. It's just, you know, it's
I didn't say you hate it. I say it's your favoriteest game of all time. Come on, man. That wasn't sarcasm. No, I was kidding.
So after 2 years, Pokemon Go is getting player-to-player traded.
Which seems weird because Pokemon is all about trading. That's a fundamental part of Pokemon. They're called that's the moniker, pocket monster. Put them in your pocket, you trade with your friends. That's how it goes. Like, why is it taking so long?
From all of the restrictions they put on it, I think they didn't want it to get broken. I think that was the issue. So yes, you can trade, but there's a lot of caveats. The first caveat is they launched a friends list that you can have up to 100 friends. So you have the person that you want to trade with has to be on your friends list. You have to be physically within 100 meters of each other. So if I'm at home and Trenell's at home, we couldn't trade because we're too far apart. Mm-hmm. And it costs Stardust, and it can cost upwards, like some of the legendary ones I think they were saying cost up to 1 million Stardust just to make the trade. And now there's a thing where you can level up your friendship, and it takes
between you and your friend.
Between you and your friends, and leveling up your friendship will make trades cost less between you two. So that's cool, but it takes a lot to level up to get to the max best friend level. I think it can take a couple of months, and you level up by. You level up by raiding, by doing gyms together, gym battles together, raiding together, giving each other gifts and stuff like that. So they added trading. Is definitely limited. And it makes sense because as we've seen with Pokemon Go, people cheat and
Oh
cheat
yeah.
and cheat.
Oh
So
yeah.
if they didn't put the reins in on this right away, it was going to be a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. I don't know. It's just weird what's going on with Pokemon nowadays. With the because they announced that Let's Go Pikachu and it's going to be like integrated with Pokemon Go.
Hmm.
It's like they're trying to bring everything together, but in my opinion, and that's my phone going off. Sorry about that. In my opinion, everything seems to just be falling flat because they're slowly like chipping away at what made Pokemon Pokemon. In
Well,
my opinion,
I think with the Let's Go titles are more geared towards the people that play Go. There's a
yeah,
lot of people that picked up Pokemon Go that weren't necessarily Pokemon fans and are now Pokemon addicts.
yeah,
And
yeah,
if they make it accessible to them, it'd be popular. I mean, there's still,
yeah.
millions and millions of people play Pokemon Go
Right.
daily.
Like if they got half the people that play
Mm.
Pokemon Go to pick up one of those Let's Go games, they
Yeah,
made a killing.
right, exactly.
Yeah,
And
I feel you.
I think that's what the design is, and I think that's why they were quick to mention a true Pokemon RPG coming out next year that
Mm,
doesn't have a lot. I think that one may cater to the original hardcore fans,
yeah,
as
yeah, because
opposed to
it
these two
doesn't
coming out now.
right because it didn't make a whole lot of sense for them to both announce a game coming out soon and
Mhm.
a next game that's going to be
Right.
completely different. Yeah, that's very unlike the Pokemon company. So yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you on that one. Yeah, yeah, I agree with
Yeah.
you on what they're doing.
Yeah. So
But
yeah,
still,
make those friends, make those trades, baby.
yeah, yeah. I
And
mean,
I think it goes live next week or the week after. I know the friends list went live with the last update.
mhm,
So the next update is going to bring in the trade in.
yeah. Okay. And when is this supposed to take place? Do we have a date?
I think it's next week.
Next
Um,
week, sometime next
yeah,
week.
I think it's next.
They're probably
I don't.
just gonna like slowly roll it out.
Yeah, I don't think they put a specific date. They just said within the coming weeks or with the next update. I don't remember seeing anything that said a specific date.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, for them to be putting this much time and effort into it, I mean, people, excuse me, must still be playing it. So
Oh yeah, millions.
yeah. So good on
Still,
you. I mean, it's actually pretty good that this game is still getting updates and features like after like being out for so long.
yeah. Well, they're making a killing. It's not 40 million people, but all they need is a couple, 1, 2, 3 million people playing on a regular basis, and they'll make a killing.
Yeah.
Especially if they can monetize about 10% of those people.
Crazy. But yeah, that's for all you Pokemon Go fanatics. Let's go ahead and move on to the next story, which involves Valve. And we talked about them a little bit in the past. They haven't been, in my opinion, man, they've been taking a step back when it comes to like being responsible for what people upload.
Right. They're just opening the market. It's going to be a free for all. They're saying what they're saying is they're going to go truly open market and let the market decide.
Right.
Um,
Like they don't
which-
want to, like when something comes up, they don't want to be the ones to take responsibility for, like whether be the ones to decide whether or not something stays up or not. That's
Exactly.
pretty much what it is. But I don't know, man. The story that we have here, it seems like they're kind of trying to implement new ways to make that happen. So they're looking into trying to limit the amount of fake games that get uploaded while by implementing rules for achievements.
Right, achievements and the what's it, the promo codes and the Valve cards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, there's been this is an issue that's been on the PlayStation Network as well, where it's easy achievements. They put like little puzzle games or quasi games on there to get achievements and the little what are they called? What's the little cards that people trade on the marketplace?
I think they're just called trading cards.
Yeah, the trade and they get the trading cards, which is another way to monetize a game without actually making a game.
Right.
So that the reason they're doing this, I think, is it's nefarious in its intent, because basically what's happening is these games mess with their money.
Yeah.
So this type of stuff messes with their money. If it's going to mess with their money, they don't want any part of it. Whereas making the market open they're taking a gamble that it won't mess with their money because the junk is just going to sink to the bottom and the good stuff will float to the top, and they're going to make their commission off of all of that. Where this is a bit of a black eye for them, where you have people exploiting them and exploiting their market.
Yeah. Yeah, because and in reality, no one really, nobody over at Valve really takes the hit on this. You know, they're pretty much leaving it all on the consumer, and so for somebody like me that isn't gonna, I'm not gonna promise to be like super active on like trying to filter out exactly what I don't want to see on Steam. I'm gonna suffer as a result because I'm just gonna be bombarded by all the trash that hasn't been filtered out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. And what the Steam is saying is that it confuses their algorithms for whatever that's worth. I mean, it basically what they're saying it was a small amount of people that were actually doing this, but a number of people that were doing it is enough to mess with their algorithms. And like I said, I think the issue is it's just messing with their money, and they don't want that.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're gonna have to wait and see. Hopefully they can figure something out because, you know, there's a reason why like other like services aren't doing this like open market thing. There's a reason for it.
Yeah.
And for Steam to be the biggest, the largest source of video games out there, for them to take this approach, I don't know, it can lead to, a disaster.
Yep. It certainly can. The first exploitative game, school shooter game that makes a ton of money is going to be on MSNBC, and it's going to be a
Fox
problem.
News. Everybody's going to be talking about it. So I guess we'll just have to wait until the next maniac decides to upload a ridiculous game that is tied to politics.
Right. The next troll. It's going to happen.
Pretty much. Sure. Pretty much. All right. Next up, PUBG is back in the news. We talked about them quite a bit in the last couple of weeks, notably because of their active lawsuit against Epic Games for allegedly stealing the battle royale genre and formula and making a killing.
Right.
But so what's going on with them this week?
Well, they just released a bunch of numbers, and the demise is greatly exaggerated, apparently. So, all the news around Battle Royale recently has been Fortnite, up to Epic opening a $100 million seasonal tournament, or $100 million worth of prizes for their upcoming Fortnite competitive season. Yeah. Well, PUBG has the PUBG company the PUBG Corp, which is the subsidiary of Bluehole, released numbers. They said within the first year, on Xbox and PC, they sold 50 million copies at $30 a piece. That's quite of a killing. And they have about 400 million total players. And digging deep,
quite a bit.
Yeah, that's quite a bit. And digging more into that, they said there's 350 million playing on mobile devices, and so that means about 50 million on Xbox and PC, or PC and Xbox, I should say. And they're saying 87 million daily logins, 227 million unique players per month. So, I mean, there's still a ton of people playing the game. And they're celebrating by discounting it on Steam to $20 as opposed to $30. It's $19.99. I mean, excuse me, normally $29.99 is now $19.99. And they also introduced a Fortnite-style not loot box, but event pass. Which gives you special missions to complete to get items. Okay. And some other stuff in there. And it also gives you some items. There was some controversy in it because some of the items were temporary. And PUBG's got out in front of it and said, hey, look, we know you guys didn't like that. This is just a trial. We're going to tweak it and change it until we get it to in a place that you guys really like it. Right. So, I mean, again, this game just came out of beta in December.
For PC.
For PC, yes. And they've been furiously making changes. They added the third map with Sandhook, which is also going to be released on PC around this time. So, I mean, they're still making moves, and there's still a ton of people playing the game.
Yeah. I mean, they're clearly in the number 2 spot as far as Battle Royale is concerned at the moment. We have had like other contenders like try to jump in the race. Radical Heights tried to make it, but they've been a consistent number 2. I mean, a lot of people that I know actually play both games.
Right, and they play wholly different because Fortnite again has the building portion of the game where you build the forts and stuff, and that's not in PUBG. And then on top of that, PUBG is a more realistic game as to Fortnite is more cartoony and over the top.
Right.
So
right.
I mean, they're in the same genre, but they are different games, and there's room enough for both of those games. Yeah. Now the problem is when you're coming outside where there's either somebody competing directly with Fortnite with their cartoony mess, or somebody's competing directly with PUBG with their realistic version, and those guys are getting crushed. These guys are on top of the heap. Like you said, Fortnite and PUBG is 1 2.
Well, that's until Call of Duty and Battlefield make their statements.
And yeah, and we were talking about that, and I was playing with some randoms night before last on Destiny. We were doing Escalation Protocol. It's a public event. You group up, whatever. But I'm not gonna get into it detail. But they were talking about Call of Duty Black Ops 4, and they were super excited. It's the first time I've heard any excitement about it, but they were really excited about Battle Royale in Call of Duty. And it's again, that's I'm in my little bubble, and most of the people I talk to was like, yeah, no, nobody wants it. But these guys, it was a few I think they were high school kids. They sounded like high school kids. I didn't ask their ages because it's 9 of us in that group, and it was about 4 or 5 of them that were just gushing and couldn't wait for Black Ops 4 coming out. And they were young sounding. So I guess there is a group of people that's super excited. And it's, again, Call of Duty the name is just humongous.
That name alone is like a guaranteed couple million copies sold.
Yeah, that's
like regardless.
Yeah, so we'll see how it fares against the other ones and some of the other stuff. I mean, the more I look at Call of Duty Black Ops 4, I mean, it's an amalgamation of, like I said, it's going to be of PUBG. They added some Rainbow Six, some Battlefield is thrown in there, and then they sprinkle a little. What's the other one? I can't think of, but they just sprinkle a little some more on the top. It's a bunch of games that they just mashed together. Yeah. And they took the best features out of all of those games and stuck them all in Call of Duty, and
voila. We will see how that works out. I mean, I have no plans on getting either one of those games because I haven't really been down for shooters, and especially AAA shooters, in quite some time. But we'll see. I
will say I did get caught Black Ops 3 because that
joint was free.
Yep, that's what I was going to say.
I downloaded it. I have it installed. It's in my library.
I turned on my PlayStation and I played. What was I playing? I don't remember what I was playing, but I was playing the PlayStation, and I was going through the store and I saw it for free. I was like, "Hey, free! Who might have turned out?"
I can do free.
So I might boot that up and see what they're talking about on that Black Ops. But it's highly unlikely I'll be shelling out anything for the new one.
True. All right, let's get on to the next one. We got Cyberpunk 2077 in the news. And this game was announced during the Microsoft conference at E3. It was the last game that they showed, and it's been in development for quite some time.
Right.
So when we saw it on the Microsoft stage, that was the actual first footage, and it did say on the screen that it was like in-game footage. That's what was told. And that was the first that we've actually got to see. Now, I have heard there's some online personalities going around saying that they were taken to a room where they got an extensive view into the actual gameplay elements. A lot of people, there was another story surrounding the game where a lot of people were mad because supposedly there was supposed to be an option between first person and third person perspective, and now they're going full on first person. That got quite a bit of people upset. Yeah. But for the ones that have actually seen the game, they said, man, once you see this, it's like unlike anything you've ever seen. So I'm actually really excited to see this game. But the story that we have here today is the revelation that Cyberpunk 2077 will have no loading screens. Absolutely no loading screen.
Right.
And I mean, we've seen this done before.
Well, it was in
And
Mass Effect, right? Where you can
right,
dance around the elevator. And was Tony Hawk was in that.
right,
What's
right.
another game? There was a game that had a mini game that you would play on the loading screen.
Well, there's plenty of those. They've been doing
Yeah.
that since PlayStation 2. But I'm just saying, so no loading screens has been done before.
Right.
But like, I feel like with them announcing it like that, it means like that, like we won't even see any of those, like, you
Right.
know, plug-in loading screens. You know?
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I'm interested to see what they mean by no loading screen. I mean, it definitely can be done.
I believe so.
Especially if they partner with somebody and use cloud services on a high speed connection. So I would be interested to see, because I'll tell you what, the game I play the most is Destiny. Those loading screens are brutal.
Yeah,
I mean, it can take up to 2 minutes to get into a game. It's horrible, because if you think about it, it's not off a disk. I have it installed on my hard drive.
Yep.
Why is it taking so long to load up your crap?
Yeah. And I was just recently playing Vampire on the Xbox One. It was my splurge game for the year. I don't think I'll be randomly buying anything else for the year, because I didn't enjoy that game too much.
Oh, really?
But the loading screens are horrendous, and I thought that it might be, you know, this is the Xbox version, and I don't have the Xbox One X, so I believe the game is optimized for Xbox One X, but I don't have it, so I'm like, well, I just have the worst version of the game supposedly. Like, nah, man, this is like all around. This game just takes a long time to load, so it can be annoying.
Yeah, I have a One X, and the Destiny still it's no different than when I played it on the Xbox One S. Or the OG Xbox or the Xbox One X. The loading is just horrible, and it's just, the problem is pulling and rendering from whatever Destiny servers are.
Yeah,
and it's just sucks. And no loading screens. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, because I mean, this is a game that I'm actually going to pick up. It's being developed by CD Projekt Red, the same guys behind
Witcher, right?
Yeah, The Witcher. Which I haven't played. I played The Witcher 2, wasn't my favorite, but apparently Witcher 3 was like Game of the Year material. I believe it was nominated.
I think March has beat that like 4 or 5 times. In fact, he's playing it again, because I saw him online playing it like yesterday.
Shouts out to March, freaking Egypt March. What's good, homie?
Yeah, but I tried playing it. It's fun, I guess, but I couldn't relate to the character, so I just like, yeah.
Yeah, man. Relating to a character is very important. Very important. I agree. But so it'll be interesting to see what they mean by no loading screens. Do they mean we'll just have like stagnant like areas where we stand while it's loading, or will this truly be a seamless experience? We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. Yeah, it'll be interesting though.
Yeah,
and the game does look interesting. I'm not all in quite yet. I would like to see more. But
I wouldn't say I'm all in, but like I got funds set aside for a game to splurge on. That'll be my splurge game. Yeah. All right, so we got a couple more quick hits here. We're not really going through these quickly, mind you. Like these are some awesome conversations. I'm not even gonna lie. But now we have Three Fields Entertainment in the news. If you're unfamiliar with these guys, this is a studio that is held by the former heads of Criterion Games, which is a subsidiary of Activision, and they are the ones behind the old Burnout games
series.
Yeah, the Burnout series. So those guys, they've created Three Fields Entertainment, and they have 2 games down the pipeline that if you're fans of their old work, you might be excited for. Yeah. The first one is a sequel to the 2017 game Danger Zone, and when looking at the screenshots and videos, it looks very similar to Burnout. They even have the the jump off the ramp and crash and cause as much damage as physically possible mini game that was back in the old Burnout games. So they're making a sequel to that, in addition to another game that they haven't announced yet.
They haven't released the name of it, but it is Dangerous Driving, right?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Dangerous Driving. That's a close track racing game. So think of like a NASCAR, Formula One type game where the Danger Zone 2 is an open world racing game like Burnout. the thing about Danger Zone is that it's using real life free race. It's some roads out in the United States, UK, and Spain. They're
That's
real
cool.
life roads, so if you're in those locales, you should recognize the roads in the past that they're taking. So that's interesting. It's cool. I mean, these guys make good games. They just Activision just released the Burnout Paradise remastered this past spring.
Yep.
And if you've missed it, I mean, if you've never played Burnout, it's actually available on Game Pass, the Xbox 360 version. I think it is. Maybe it's not.
I believe it was a Games for Gold back in the day. It could still be on Game Pass. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I remember seeing it. I've had it for a while.
Yeah, I have that on my hard drive.
Yeah, but it's a fun game, especially if you like going out and just causing chaos and knocking people over, just jumping into races seamlessly. It's definitely something you might want to check out.
Yeah, I was more of a fan of the Burnout Revenge or what was the other one? Burnout Takedown or something like that?
Yeah, Takedown.
Takedown and Revenge. I was more into those where you would pick a track and then you would race that track, get your score, and then go to the next track. I wasn't really into the whole open world aspect of it.
Yeah.
But they're coming out. Three Fields Entertainment. I look forward to them. I was a huge fan of Criterion until they stopped making racing games. So it'll be really fun to get back into some old school like arcade racing action. You know, I feel like the game landscape has been missing that for quite some time. All right, so we got two more stories here. First up is news out of Microsoft because they have announced that they are backing off on plans to enable VR on the Xbox One platform.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I think it's a bit disappointing. I was looking forward to it, I guess. But you know, I listened to a tech podcast. I listened to, and there was a great one of the guys had a great take on it. And basically, what he was saying is the console VR, and when we say console VR, it'd be PlayStation VR right now, and potentially the Xbox VR is in what he called the mushy middle. He talked about the Oculus Go or like the Samsung Gear VR, where you use your powerful phone and you can walk around without any wires and play a little bit low fidelity. And then he talked about the high-end room sensing HTC Vive Oculus Rift, which has room sensors and you can move around and it tracks you very good. Some good finger tracking with their controllers. And then there's the PlayStation VR, where you kind of are tethered to your TV, and it doesn't track movement in the room as well as the other ones. So it's kind of like in a place where you're tethered, so it's not as good as the portable ones, and the fidelity is not, and the fidelity is not as good as the high end ones because you're playing off a console. And when I listen to that, I'm like, well, yeah, that makes sense. And then at that point, all you have is another piece of hardware that's going to collect dust because there's no software for it or nothing compelling for it. So
yeah, I mean, my poor old Kinect is just sitting over there collecting dust, man. I've never since I've had this console, I've never had enough space to utilize it.
I couldn't tell you the last time I played super hot on my PSVR. It's sitting there collecting dust. I actually dusted it because I dusted everything, but it is just sitting there because there's nothing compelling. Super hot is great. I loved it, but it gets tired after a while. I mean, it's a good game to go back to every now and then. But other than super hot, they have the Drive Club game is horrible. Gran Turismo. Is mediocre, and it's just nothing. What's really cool, I watched the movie in it, which is kind of cool. But when you're me, and I have 4K TV, I have 4K player on my Xbox.
Why buy all that equipment and you're gonna strap something to your forehead and watch it
and look at it in low fidelity? So low resolution. So the resolution part bothered me. The experience was kind of cool because like sitting at a movie theater.
I get the novelty of it, but like, what's the practicality? You're not really gonna use it that often.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I can't really be mad. I mean, I was under the impression that VR was a fad and it was gonna fade away just like motion controls, and it looks like we might be getting the first remnants of that, especially when it comes to VR on console. The PSVR was not even really mentioned at E3 this year.
No, yeah, and again, off that, I'm with that particular podcast is that console, there's no place for VR on the console, at least right now. They're not powerful enough and they don't have the tech. So if you're going to get VR, you might as well get the big boy or get one of the small portable ones, and you'll be better off either way. Because the small portable ones, at least you can take them and go wherever you want to go. You're not tethered to wherever your console is. Right. If you get the big VR one, you get all the full features and the high-end screens. You know, they use OLEDs, 14 by 1400 OLED screens, and it's, you know, high fidelity, nice, crisp, clean images.
Yeah, I agree. What would make more sense is if Microsoft created a, you know, like an Xbox branded VR headset. Yeah, that would make more sense. It would be the only place, because I mean that's really the only thing that's going to differ between the different headsets is the exclusives. And that's the same thing with consoles as well. So it will be the only place where you can get, you know, Xbox or, you know, like Microsoft Studios games on VR. If it'll be, you know, for Windows 10, of course, and it'll be an Xbox branded VR headset. I mean, because people that play with controllers want to play with controllers, and that's what a console, a home console, is for, in my opinion.
And another thing that came out of this, and it was kind of mentioned, is like they didn't want to fracture the community. They didn't want to make a Gears of War that was for VR and a group of people couldn't play it, or a Halo that was worked with VR or had VR features that other people couldn't play. Other Halo fans wouldn't be able to play. Yeah, and so they didn't want to fracture and upset the community that way as well. That was something that was mentioned. So
yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. Their audience is already small enough. I don't think they need to fragment it anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, and last out of the quick hits, and we're going to get this one out of the way really quickly, is the addition of the Games tab on Discord. What this does is it provides you information on what your friends or people that are in other servers, because like if you're like me and you're a member of multiple servers, it's hard to keep track or find out exactly what everybody is playing. This helps you pinpoint who's playing what games and allows you to launch games from Discord. It's a pretty cool feature. I haven't really had time to fiddle with it yet, but I did get the recent update. It looks really cool, and it's something that happened this week. So we kind of, because we've been chopping it up, man. We're already like 30 minutes in, and we're still in the quick hits.
We're still in the quick hits. Yeah.
so let's go ahead and get this out of the way. If you want to submit any stories to us, you can do so through our social media. Links and information are in the description, but you can also see them at the bottom of the screen as well.